Hey there, my little adventurers! Hold on to your seats because we're about to dive into one of the most epic animal encounters ever. That's right, we're talking lions, royalty, and one incredibly brave guy named Daniel. This isn't just any old story. It's a tale about standing up for what you believe in, even when it means facing down a whole den of hungry lions. Are you ready? Let's roar into this adventure. A long, long time ago in ancient Babylon, there lived a man named Daniel. But this wasn't just any ordinary guy. Daniel was super smart and super good at his job. So good, in fact, that King Darius put him in charge of practically everything. Think of him as the king's right-hand man. The king divided his kingdom into 120 parts called satraps. That's a funny word, right? And put officials in charge of each one. But Daniel? He was one of just 3 governors who watched over all those officials. Talk about a big responsibility. Daniel was so amazing at his job that King Darius was thinking about putting him in charge of the entire kingdom. Now that's what I call an employee of the month. But not everyone was happy about Daniel's success. The other officials got super jealous. Know that feeling when someone else gets the biggest ice cream cone? Yeah, it was like that, but way worse. The officials huddled together, plotting. "We've got to find something wrong with Daniel's work," one whispered. "But he never makes mistakes. He's too perfect," another responded in frustration. These grumpy officials looked everywhere for mistakes in Daniel's work. But guess what? They couldn't find any, not even one tiny little mistake. Wait. There is one thing Daniel cares about more than anything. One official suddenly realized. What was it? Daniel's faith in God. Every single day, Daniel prayed to God. Not once, not twice, but 3 times a day. That gave these troublemakers an idea. But what exactly were they planning? And how would it involve lions? Stick around, my little adventurers. Things are about to get wild. The jealous officials came up with a super sneaky plan. They rushed to King Darius with what seemed like the best idea ever. "O King Darius, live forever!" one official proclaimed. "We have all agreed on a new royal law that will show how amazing and powerful you are." All the officials, administrators, and advisors suggested the king make a new law that said nobody could pray to any god or person except the king himself for 30 whole days. "Anyone who breaks this law will be thrown into a den of hungry lions," announced a third official. The king thought this sounded pretty good. I mean, who wouldn't want to be treated like the most important person ever? Without realizing what these tricky officials were really up to, King Darius signed the decree. And here's the super important part, kids. In ancient Persia, once the king signed a law, it couldn't be changed. Not even by the king himself. It was like super-duper permanent marker that you can't erase. When Daniel heard about this new rule, he had a big decision to make. Should he stop praying to God for 30 days to stay safe? Or should he keep praying like he always did? What do you think Daniel did? Well, he went straight home, opened up his windows facing Jerusalem just like always, got down on his knees and, you guessed it, prayed to God. "Thank you, God, for always being with me. I will always be faithful to you," Daniel said peacefully. Daniel wasn't trying to break the law or disrespect the king. He simply loved God more than anything and wouldn't stop talking to him, not even for 30 days. The sneaky officials were watching Daniel's house, and when they saw him praying, boom, their trap worked. "Aha! We caught him!" one exclaimed in an excited whisper. They rushed to tell the king. "O king, Daniel is breaking your law. He's still praying to his God 3 times every day," they reported. When King Darius heard this, he was super upset. He really liked Daniel and didn't want him to be punished. The king tried all day long to find a way to save Daniel. "There must be some way to change this law," the king pleaded desperately. But the officials surrounded him, reminding him sternly, "Remember, O king, the law cannot be changed, not even by you." The king was stuck between a rock and a hard place, or should I say, between a decree and a den of lions. Oh my goodness, what's going to happen to Daniel now? Let's find out. With a heavy heart, King Darius gave the order. Daniel would have to be thrown into the lion's den. But check this out. While everyone else was freaking out, Daniel was as cool as a cucumber. He trusted God completely. The king approached Daniel before he was placed in the den. "Daniel, your God, whom you serve so faithfully, I hope he rescues you," the king said worriedly. A huge stone was rolled over the entrance of the den, and the king sealed it with his royal ring. That night, King Darius couldn't eat. All he could think about was Daniel. But guess what? While the king was worried sick, Daniel was having a much different kind of night. Inside that scary den, something amazing was happening. God sent an angel to shut the lions' mouths. Those big, ferocious cats with teeth as sharp as knives were just hanging out like oversized kittens. Daniel wasn't lion food, he was perfectly safe. As soon as the sun started to rise, King Darius raced to the lion's den. "Daniel, servant of the living God, was your God able to rescue you from the lions?" the king called out anxiously. "O king, live forever!" Daniel's voice came from inside. "My God sent his angel to shut the lions' mouths. They didn't hurt me at all." The king was so happy. He immediately ordered for Daniel to be lifted out of the den. And when they examined Daniel, not a scratch, not a bite, not even a tiny lion paw print on his clothes. Now that's what I call divine protection. But the story doesn't end there. Remember those mean officials who tricked the king? The king was so angry about their trick that he had them thrown into the lion's den instead. And sadly for them, the lions were very hungry this time. Yikes! That's what can happen when you try to harm someone who's innocent. After everything that happened, King Darius wrote a new decree for everyone in his kingdom. Everyone must respect the God of Daniel, for he is the living God who rescues and saves, who performs amazing miracles in heaven and on earth, the king proclaimed. Daniel's courage and faith changed an entire kingdom. And Daniel? He continued to do amazing work for the king for many years to come. So, my little adventurers, what can we learn from Daniel's wild adventure? Daniel knew what was right, and he didn't change, even when it was super scary. When Daniel was in that dark, scary den, he trusted God completely, and God didn't let him down. Remember, my brave little friends, sometimes doing the right thing isn't easy. Sometimes it might even seem scary. But God is always with you, just like he was with Daniel. That's our amazing story for today. Daniel's courage teaches us that when we stand up for what we believe in and trust God, amazing things can happen, even shutting the mouths of hungry lions. Until our next adventure, remember Daniel's courage and faith. And hey, if Daniel can face lions, you can face your challenges too. See you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.